We have been talking about developing our logic, and today we're going to talk specifically about statements that are in if-then form. We call this a conditional statement. A conditional statement. What is a conditional statement? It can be written in the if-then form. For example, if I do my homework, I can complete my class assignments, right? Then I can complete my class assignments. Here's another example. If you would like to speak to a representative, then you will press 0 now. If I sleep in class, then I will miss important information. So these are some conditional statements, statements that have a condition for it. Remember, this is math, so in math, we always like to simplify things. So whereas in English class, you'll have long sentences with many descriptive words, in geometry, we like to simplify things, and instead of writing a whole sentence, we like to create and use symbols. So just because of that, in light of that, we have symbols to represent the if-then statement or the conditional statement. Okay, so everything after the word everything that is after the word if, we use the letter P to represent it. Everything after the word then, we use the letter Q to represent that. So we read this symbol, and the arrow means the word then. Okay, so if I read this, we would read it as if P then Q, or P implies Q. So the arrow can also mean implies. Okay, now the letter P is what we call the hypothesis. Sorry, I can't talk today. Hypothesis. So everything after the word if is the hypothesis. So if you say, if I sleep in class, that would be hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, let's say that you sleep in class. That would be the hypothesis after the word if. Now, if that happens, what is your conclusion, right? If you sleep in class, what could be the conclusion? That would be your letter Q. Represented with the letter Q is everything after the word then. If you sleep in class, then you may miss important information. Okay? So, when a conditional statement is written as an if-then statement, you can quickly identify its hypothesis and conclusion. For example, here it says identify the hypothesis and conclusion of each conditional statement. If the forecast is rain, then I will take an umbrella. So, what is the hypothesis? I'm going to say H for hypothesis and C for conclusion. So your H and your C. So what could be your hypothesis? If you said the forecast is rain, that is correct. The forecast is rain. Everything after the word if. That would be your hypothesis. Let's say that it's going to rain. And then after the word then, we have the words I will take an umbrella. That is your conclusion. So if it's going to rain, then you take an umbrella. That's the conclusion. Okay? Let's analyze this next sentence. A number is divisible by 10 if its last digit is 0. If you notice, the sentence here is not in the exact if and then statement. It's a little flipped. Always, always, always look for the word if or then. That will give you the clue of where the hypothesis and conclusion is. For example, right here we find the word if. Remember, everything after the word if is your P, which is your hypothesis. So even though the order is flipped here, we can still easily see, and let's use red for if it. This is your hypothesis. Is even though it's not in where we are used to seeing it at the beginning, everything after the word if is your hypothesis. Okay, so let's write that. Its last digit is a 0. So, hypothetically, if a number has the last digit being a 0, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that that number is divisible by 10. A number is divisible by 10. So once again, remember, everything after the word if is the hypothesis, everything after the word then is the conclusion. It may be rearranged, but always remember your hypothesis and then make sure your conclusion is the ending or the result of whatever the hypothesis is telling you.